Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Silver Tears Tarot. Welcome to today's reading. We are jumping into energy that is happening within and around your person. So, yesterday we saw that there was that feeling of it not wanting to be poked too much, not too many more questions. So, I chose not to do an extended because of this and just kind of was letting it simmer until today. And I'm glad I did. So, thinking about the meditation that I just had before I came into this, I think that this is going to be really, this is better timing trying to pull these messages today. So we're just going to get a feel for kind of how things are happening with your person and what else we need to know. It'll be a general reading for this collective. So if it resonates with you, then by all means, take a look at some of the other readings. Maybe hit like, subscribe. All these readings are very much connected. So if you are getting something good out of this, both hit like so that other people can also have the opportunity to come across it. But then hit subscribe so that you can get the messages that continue to be associated, because even as you work through the lessons, there are always new lessons that are coming up, and we do a you portion of the reading at the end that kind of talks about what your focus is regardless of where you are on the timeline with your person. So let's go ahead and look at what's happening with your person. This is going to be about the energy that's happening around them. That's where we start here. So part of this is going to be energetic and emotional backdrop. Part of it is going to be energy that is specifically focused around your person. We aren't ruling out shared energy, so some of it could be a shared energy that's happening between the two of them, or between the two of you, rather. And there's a lot of intensity that we've noted these last few days, you know. From the eclipse, I think we treated like it was going to be some sort of high point of the intensity, and it felt like maybe it has risen from there. It has continued to rise. And let me see what I just dropped. Still face down. Haven't had anything turn over yet. Sometimes the cards are pretty quiet, take a little bit longer, but I think we can be patient. This is a situation where sometimes I think it can be difficult to find the right words. There's about a perspective, something that they don't know yet, something about a perspective that's going to become evident to them but hasn't yet. Now, they've got this feeling of stagnation. We've been seeing this feeling of stagnation around them, or at least that's how they're perceiving it. Now, on some level, they do realize they could probably be being more efficient with the energy, and that stagnation is not actually the nature of what's going on here. But that's how it feels to them just in the day-to-day. So we also have the Knight of Wands. There's the energy that we've seen before of them not wanting to come in unless they also can be assured of a way out. So this Knight of Wands is unstable energy. It is fear-based, and that's why they need to be able to have that opportunity to get out if they need to. With the Eight of Wands, that feeling of stagnation was really just kind of, this is telegraphing their own fears and their own feelings of shortcomings onto the situation. And this is something that it's like, what I'm seeing with this is that I feel like it's a perspective that's coming to them. What I really feel is that maybe this is a perspective that's been presented to them, but it was too much for them to take. So it's not something that really caught on and became part of the way they see their world. So that's a little bit of denial. That's something that I feel like is going to become more evident to them as they go through this energy. So this is a learning energy for them, learning with that third party, learning with regard to you. And one of the things that you might consider to be a benefit, or you might also consider it to be a little bit of a curse, is this Queen of Wands in the reverse. They have a lot more of an understanding of why it is that they're doing the things that they're doing. So there's much more of an understanding and an awareness of why they're doing what they're doing. And some of it, you know, it makes sense to them, but it feels uncomfortable. So it'll be, well, here's something that happened in my childhood, and I recognize that I'm unwilling to get near something that feels like it could turn into rejection again. And this is, I feel like, a true story. There's your King of Wands. So I want to make sure that I don't allow myself to get into a situation that I can't get right back out of. Of course, the other opportunity is to be this sort of controlling force within the situation. Now, being a controlling force in the situation can be one step away from being like a magnanimous ruler around the situation. So the King of Wands has the potential to be that magnanimous ruler, but also has the potential to be a scary tyrant. And so this is, the scary tyrant has a tendency to come out when the fear is high, but that's also where we're seeing this Knight of Wands type of behavior. The saving grace might be the fact that this Queen of Wands is in reverse, so it's not just that they're driven by passion, they also have some awareness of why it is that they're doing what they're doing. So here we have the Four of Pentacles. It's a need to let something go, a concept that we've seen here periodically. This is something that's holding them back or creating a little bit of a setback. And the thing is, it's like I've used this euphemism before, but they are kicking the can down the road and they have run out of road. That's basically what this is. So it's creating a setback because they've got to figure out now, they've got to build a plan for addressing this, and that's something that they simply haven't done. We've seen that in previous readings, especially when we see things like that King of Swords coming out in the reverse. There's something I'd like to see come out in the upright. This is something else I'd like to see come out in the upright. This Temperance card. So I don't get the sense that they're in a place of temperance yet, but that they have it in their sights. They're aware that it could apply to them, because I think one of the things in the past that they've felt was, you know, maybe that certain emotional heights were not attainable to them. And here with the Ten of Wands, I get this sense that they're in a place of emotional overload, but the thing that is keeping them feeling kind of decent about this is that sense of the promise of balance. Now that they have experienced something that they experienced with you, now that they have experienced it, it is absolutely something that it's like a promise of a brand new day, a promise of something very bright. There's something, and it's not just, so I meant to start introducing my tarot decks a little bit more often, because people had made the comment that maybe I should write down the decks, and some had asked if I could announce them. So this is the Star Tarot that I'm using as my main deck. And then my clarifying deck is the Radiant Tarot. The Radiant Tarot has a particularly bright and happy way about it, but also has the ability to tell you the real truth. It's one of the reasons I love it. But what we've got here is like its unique and wonderful ability to say here with the Ten of Wands, yeah, there is definitely something for them to be working through. They have to work through it. There's no way around it. But this Temperance is this ringing clarity and certainty of the future that could be very positive. So again, I mentioned that I mentioned the ancient pain earlier. It's something about needing to be able to let go of something, and needing to be able to let go of some kind of pain that occurred in the past. With the Six of Cups in the reverse here, this is like feeling that there is, they need to know that this isn't going to turn out like something turned out before. We used to get the Five of Pentacles all the time, and it was talking about the big three fears. So it was the big three: fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of betrayal. I've already felt fear of rejection and betrayal show up in this. And now we have the Five of Cups and the Page of Cups. Okay, so there is a feeling of them trying to get back to their center, trying to get balanced, and that's what this Five of Cups is about. The Five of Cups is a concept of balance, but unfortunately not really a feeling of them having attained it. With the Page of Cups, though, this is mostly just them not saying everything that they mean. So you may still receive communication from a person like this in this energy, but they may not say as many things. So again, and we've seen this in some of the recent readings, it's that idea of the smaller contribution to the conversation, or the smaller than expected, smaller than desired, smaller than they even expected contribution to the situation. So they came to make a gesture, but by the time they got to the point where they could make the gesture, they had lost their nerve, or something in that sort of, it's kind of got that feel to it. So let's look in a little bit more and see what all is going on with them. We're looking to see what's going on with them, what's causing some of this energy that has these moments of wanting to head off in all new directions, and then these other moments where it feels like they can't overcome the depression and the anxiety. Okay, so I saw 4 cards in here. And what's this about a secret obsession? Something that is a much deeper emotion than you would ever know. That was what we were wanting to look into today. So we're looking into their energy, but these are all of the things that I expect we may hear about. So there's this sense of healing that hasn't been done with the 4 of Swords, a sense of stability that has been threatened, or in some cases completely removed. This is someone who's lost their job, left a marriage, been left in a marriage, made a significant change to a family structure, told someone that they're no longer allowed in their house. Something that has constituted a norm of the past is no longer. Possibly more than one thing, because they may have gotten into a place where they felt like, while I'm making changes, why don't I just make changes? The thing is, though, I don't get the sense that they will be doing that in a positive way. It feels a little bit too self-destructive, especially when you add in this I don't deserve it King of Pentacles over here, and this I sure wish I had something that I once had and I got a taste of but can never have again because I ruined it. 9 of Cups. It's a very wry 9 of Cups. It's interesting because it's like there's a lot of positivity around it, but it's almost like a, oh, but it doesn't apply to me kind of energy. And it's because of this lack of healing and that fear of losing something that is so strong that it causes them to be afraid even to come close to it. That is mixed in with this King of Pentacles feeling, which feels like a very deep feeling of, I'm not going to go all the way to self-loathing because I don't feel like it is. There may be a couple of cases where that's true, but I don't feel like it goes that far. I feel like this is more a case of not having realized who they are in this life yet, not having really grown into it, not really having understood what the potential is for them, and in that not really, they're selling themselves short. Now, it may not seem like it. It may seem like they're tooting their own horn on a regular basis, but rest assured, this is somebody who doesn't even realize what they should be saying, because they're not looking at the whole picture. That's what I get here with this Ace of Swords. So they're out of balance, but they're not looking at the whole picture, and they're not looking at the whole picture not because they haven't been presented with more of the picture, and I don't know that they've been presented with everything they need to know. Over here with the Hanged One here in the reverse, it was very clear that there's a perspective that they haven't yet been shown, or that they haven't yet gathered to them. Part of it feels like it's coming in for them. It's coming into focus. Part of it feels like maybe they have some misconceptions. Again, that concept of the misconception comes up. So we've seen this in some of the previous readings where there's a misconception, and it is something that is misconception between the two of you. So something that came across as a situation that they feel like they would never be able to admit, but in reality, it's something that you already know and have already factored into the situation, you know, so it's not going to have that impact that they're afraid that it will have. The true impact that it's having is within them. So I think that's going to be true of several of you, where there's a secret here they're kind of not wanting to bring to you, but it doesn't register as a secret. So if I do a personal reading for you, it's probably not going to show up in that part where I like to look at, here's the part that you don't know yet, or here's the part that you can't see. That's a lot of that. We want that to just kind of come into this portion of the reading. But the thing is, sometimes it's about perspective. So they can tell that they don't like something. They can't necessarily tell why or how. There's a lot that has to be kind of worked through, unpacked, truths that have to be absorbed before some of the other ones can even be offered. So there's something there. Knight of Cups need to have an important conversation. I think some of you are going to have that conversation. Be careful in that conversation, because it seems like there could be here comes this Nine of Cups again. So this concept of the Nine of Cups is almost a drunk text, okay? So that's not usually what I would get from a Nine of Cups. But when it comes in this energy, and it comes in with the Lovers in reverse, and it comes in with the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and it comes in here with the Five of Wands, and it would be really cool if it came in with the King of Pentacles in the upright. But we've already seen this King of Pentacles over here in the reverse that kind of tells you some truths about their perspective. So this is a person that is kind of, they're a little bit back and forth. You know, there's a big struggle that is happening within them. There are warring factions inside of them trying to figure out what the next step is. And a lot of times they're not making a next step because of an impasse. They don't feel like they have certain choices here, and they're feeling a lot of a lack of stability. That, I think, is why I get this kind of drunk text sort of feeling from this Nine of Cups. So sometimes the Nine of Cups can be an like a drinking a lot, sort of an alcoholism, or an over imbibing sort of energy. It can sometimes be that, but it is not always that. You know, sometimes it is just about wish fulfillment. A lot of times it's just about wish fulfillment. But this feels like it's a little bit of both. It's like, hey, I got a glimpse of my wish fulfillment, and I kind of get loaded, and then really passionate and courageous, and then by the time I get close, I sober up, and then I'm reblocking. Yeah, I mean, it's that sort of energy almost. And I understand that that's not going to be the same for everybody, but here we are again with this Hanged Man energy. Same thing we see over here with things that you don't know yet, things that they don't know yet, that kind of haven't been introduced to the situation. And unfortunately, when you learn a lesson, you don't always learn the whole thing all at once. And so this Three of Pentacles kind of speaks to that, speaks to not necessarily learning the lesson all at once, and not having certain things that you're unable to work through, or they're unable to work through, until they gain some of this new perspective that we see represented here with the Hanged Man, something that they're currently missing. I'm curious to understand what that perspective is that they're currently missing, and especially because it seems like they're hiding from it with this Hermit in the reverse. They have time and time again here recently been given signals that it's time for them to kind of go into the thinking cave and do some real soul searching. And we've seen little instances of that, but we see that they always kind of come out too soon. Here we see that there's it's almost like with this kicking the can down the road and running out of road, there's no place else for them to go other than to spend some time thinking about it. And so that's kind of what I'm seeing here. I'm curious to understand what it is that they're thinking about, and kind of what, once again, one of the things that we didn't truly get was about this secret obsession. There's something that it came out in yesterday's reading as the Queen of Cups, the equivalent of the Queen of Cups in the reverse. Okay, and so in this particular deck that I used yesterday, it is very specific. This Queen of Cups always is unrequited, or always is like a secret emotion. This one came out in the reverse, and it was like a secret, undiscussed obsession. There's a secret triggering. There's something that is like a much deeper emotion than you would ever know from this person. So that, I think, is, I was asking for some of that to come out here, and I appreciate the background that came out here so we can kind of see the scaredness, the overwhelm, the tendency to keep quiet, and even that in the background of this secret obsession. So it's helpful to know this is part of why we see them be so quiet and have a hard time with vulnerability. But let's see what's going on as we kind of look deeper into this secret obsession, which we'll do in the extended. But before we go there, we're going to do the public service. So this is this is maybe this is a lot of people's favorite part of the reading. This is the you portion of the reading, where we look at what you need to know about the lessons that you're learning right now with regard to what's on this table right here. What are your areas of focus? We've got a Seven of Pentacles. It's about investing in yourself. This is one that we've seen in this position recently, I believe. I think we've seen the Seven of Pentacles, and it might have even been Seven of Pentacles matching up with a Seven of Wands, or maybe even a double Seven of Pentacles. But it was in this portion of the reading, all about investing in yourself, all about making sure, I got a couple of them here, all about making sure that you are giving yourself the proper amount of time and effort that is needed. So we have an Eight of Swords in the upright. We have the Six of Wands in the reverse. The Six of Wands in the reverse is like something that is putting a damper on, like you have a compass that leads you to the direction that you need to go. And this Six of Wands in the reverse is something that like puts a damper on that compass's ability to function. There is definitely some disorientation that I'm reading here, and also a little bit of triggering. There's some feelings of, hey, I've just realized I'm not in control of things, or I can't see enough of this. A lot of concern about it. Generates some overthinking. I don't know that you stay in this place for long. You are certainly recommended not to stay in this place for too long. So you have the Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is a card of passionate forward movement. This is you jumping into that opportunity that we've seen coming for you. There's some kind of opportunity. It is incredibly soul enriching. This is something that's going to be great for you. So, you know, we've heard about this soulmate that comes in along with this opportunity, but we haven't heard much about the opportunity itself. So to hear that it is something that garners a passion in you, that is soul enriching, that is fantastic, because this is like you're going to be wide open at a time when you have somebody there that's here to handle you in that sense, or in that light. Here with the Ace of Wands in the reverse, though, be careful that you don't, we've seen this one before where it says, hey, don't get in your own way. Don't be your own worst enemy. And I feel that a little bit with the Seven of Swords too. Seven of Swords is about a lack of self-trust. And so it's just about remembering who you are, remembering where you came from, and allowing yourself to have this. I'm not sure exactly what that means to you, but that is the message that wants to come out. It's about remembering who you are, where you came from, and that you can have this. King of Cups. This is integrity. This is charisma. This is having that good day. This is everything you touch turns to gold. So there is a very nice sort of golden age element in here that happens in this energy. So don't let the overthinking or the cloudiness get you down. That's, I think, what leads to this Seven of Swords sort of lack of self-trust that will have you passing up an opportunity that is actually pretty exciting. The cool thing about it, though, I don't feel like it is, I don't feel like if you do pass up this opportunity that you're losing it. I think that what it is, it's like almost like a class that, you know, comes about every 6 weeks. If you don't get to sign up for this one, then the worst case scenario, you might have to wait 8 weeks, or you might have to start late. Here with the Strength card, this is about overcoming the fears, and I feel like that's a little bit what happens here, because this is something that you decide to go forward with that you may not historically have ever given a ton of thought to. Maybe you gave it a little thought and then never went back and did it. It's a lesson in something new. It's something that puts you into a new place or gives you some new perspective, something that helps to open you up a little bit. Because you've spent a lot of time kind of getting focused really hard on the situation with this divine masculine. This is part of how you, if you guys have been around for a little while, there was a while where we were getting a lot of advice to expand, not to get rid of the divine masculine in your thinking or anything, but to expand your focus to include more than that. And so this is really the sort of thing that you want an opportunity to bring in. So we noticed that starting at the beginning of the year, there were a lot of things that kind of showed up for you. And then not all of them are the right ones for you. Some of them were in conflict with others. You may have had to make decisions about which one you were more interested in doing, things like that. In this case, I don't know that the issue is, you do have some considerations around your energy and your time. But I feel like also that's not what the problem is here. There's something here that's kind of an underlying fear that you're having to confront by moving into this space. Okay, so we have an Ace of Cups. There is definitely some fear that you're going to have to confront to come into this space. So this is about making sure that you're able to give and receive love equally. Many of you are able to give love better than you're able to receive love. You've been working with a divine masculine who doesn't have a great propensity for either. And now it's time for you to start working with somebody who is a little bit more well-versed in those things. So Page of Pentacles says that you may not be as open to what you need to learn here as you need to be. And there may be there's a need to experiment around with some spiritual guidance. There is some opportunity for you to kind of listen to different ways of doing things. Maybe if you're not someone who reads holy books, go check out a couple of holy books. And, you know, maybe it's a matter of getting into a place that you wouldn't ordinarily go. Or if you are someone who does typically go to holy books, maybe you're expanding your net and you're looking to something for spiritual guidance that goes a little beyond that. With the Moon card, there's also a sense of utilizing intuition and making decisions with a little bit less information. So this is about you learning to trust the situation around you and not needing to know so much what's coming or when it's coming. This isn't about, and even the rest of this, it's not so much about looking at what's coming your direction or what is defining the future, as here are the energies that are at play here so that you can better navigate based on what you know and based on where your focus is. Oh, and by the way, here are some great places for your focus. So we're going to go ahead and get into the extended, where we're looking into this deeper emotion than you would be aware of. So there's something that came across as like a triggered secret obsession in yesterday's reading, and I was hoping it would kind of come out today. It kind of hasn't. So we're going to go into the emotions and look into that triggered secret obsession here in the extended. If you'd like to do that, go on down to the description and there's a link there. The first link should be the one that would get you there. So I will see you there. Otherwise, I will see you again in tomorrow's reading.